Let's go. No. This isn't video game related. Let's make this more fitting.
Aha! Showtime!
What up everyone, I am Gallant Havoc, and it's time for a different kind of review. Well, not entirely different. It's been a while since I did a review on a movie. Almost 2 years, in fact. The last one I did was on The Crow back in Halloween of 2021. So here we are now. And boy oh boy, this has been something I've been meaning to get around to for a while. Earlier this year, a certain movie came out that a lot of people were very skeptical about. Myself included. But I like to think I was cautiously optimistic. I did my best to stay open-minded until I saw it for myself. And that movie is the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Not to be confused with Super Mario Bros. The movie. We don't talk about that. Ever. And sure enough, when it came out, it was really successful, both financially and critically. Well, critically if you're not the critics. Looking at you, Rotten Tomatoes, with your hilariously unbalanced review scores. The movie doesn't understand cinema. Well, in the immortal words of legendary wrestling tag team, D-Generation X, I got 2 words for you. Just gives more credence on why I typically don't listen to the critics. More so casual reviewers I trust, like Chris Stuckman and Jeremy Johns, both of whom I highly recommend as they did inspire my review style. More so Stuckman than Johns. Or there's the even better option, have your own opinion. So let's get started. The new Mario Bros. Movie takes the iconic heroes in Nintendo's classic video game and puts them in a fun-filled adventure that feels very accurate and safe to the games of old, with Illumination of Despicable Me and Minions fame doing the animating. The characters looked almost just like their in-game avatars, with Illumination's style making them feel unique, yet familiar enough to be instantly recognizable. I'll admit I had my doubts about how the characters looked at first, but after seeing them in motion as opposed to stills, I actually found them to really not be that bad. Like, at all. Some of the characters look more accurate than others, especially Bowser. And with Illumination being the animation powerhouses they are, the movie looks absolutely gorgeous. With a very bright color palette, the movie looks just as lighthearted as its plot is meant to be. Which brings me to this. Don't go into this movie expecting a Disney Pixar level epic. The movie is a fun family romp. No super compelling plot, just a safe, fun time for the family to enjoy. Which is not a bad thing at all, nor is it free of some really compelling character arcs, most notably being the rivalry between Mario and Donkey Kong, or Mario and his family besides Luigi. And of course, the movie really lets you know this is a Mario movie. They even sprinkle some of the game's logic into the plot, like the usage of power-ups and getting hit causes you to lose that power-up. They even have a "your princess is in another castle" joke.
What princess?
I never heard of any princess.
Oh wait, I did. Our princess, though, is in another castle.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You should try another castle, maybe. She ain't in this one.
Crying out loud. Besides that, there is also the sheer amount of nods and references to the games. Whether it be the music, the locales, the characters' personalities, even a goddamn blowing the cartridge to make it work joke. We NES, Super NES, and N64 veterans know. Which brings me to this. I think your enjoyment of the movie will really depend on whether you're a Mario fan or not. However, that's not to say someone not familiar with Mario won't have a fun time, as again, they play it very safe and easy. If you're not a Mario fan or someone who at least knows the games, you'll love the movie. If you're not, you'll still at the very least enjoy it. Now we can't talk about this film without the cast. which definitely stirred the most bit of controversy when it came out, particularly Chris Pratt as Mario. People were pissed that Mario wasn't going to be voiced by his longtime voice actor, Charles Martinet, who is in the movie just as minor characters and cameos. However, after watching the damn thing, I can wholeheartedly and proudly say we owe Chris Pratt an apology. We also got Charlie Day's Luigi, who I feel was perfect casting.
Do you think I know every human being with a mustache wearing an identical outfit with a hat with the letter of his first name on it? Because I don't.
Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach, who did just fine.
This guy's a lunatic, a psycho. He will eat you for breakfast. He won't even notice it probably, because you're very, very small.
Speaking of, this Peach isn't the damsel in distress type. She's what you'd expect from a typical girl boss. Not in a Mary Sue kind of way, I'd liken her more to Princess Leia. Moving on, Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. Again, perfect casting.
If I could just...
Here you go.
Excuse me. Excuse me, everybody! Coming through! This guy's brother is going to die imminently! Out of the way, please! Just trying to clear a path. That's all I'm doing. He's gonna be fine.
Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, who literally is just Seth Rogen. Not in a bad way though, as his voice does fit the character. They even have him come out to the DK rap, which had 4-year-old me screaming with joy.
I'm Donkey Kong.
They even had Chunky Kong make an appearance, who was my favorite Kong to play as in DK64.
This Kong's one hell of a...
That's right, Chunky ain't dead. But of course, the star of the show, no pun intended, is Jack Black as Bowser.
Just what I thought.
They even give him a goddamn musical number.
Peaches, 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 peaches. Ah! Oh, yeah! Oh!
Now I don't care what anyone says. That shit is fire. Oscar worthy. Anyway, that's not all to say I didn't have my gripes with the movie. For example, there was a lot of overuse of slow-mo sequences. It was funny the first couple times, but then it just felt lazy and repetitive. There's also some of the music choices. When it's not Brian Tyler's very faithful score, they often put music in from the 80s and early 90s, like No Sleep Till Brooklyn by the Beastie Boys, Take On Me by a-ha, the list goes on. I understand wanting to put in licensed music, plus it fit the time period when Mario came out, but it felt they could have used more iconic Mario themes at certain points. I also feel more screen time could have been given to the Kongs, particularly Donkey Kong and Cranky, who have a somewhat strained father-son relationship that I feel could have been touched on a bit more. Not to mention make Cranky a little more, cranky.
Okay, simmer down. I said simmer down. That means you, Diddy Kong.
Sorry.
Maybe in a DK solo movie? I could see that happening in the not too distant future. And wouldn't mind it either, as personally, Donkey Kong I always preferred over Mario. Especially considering we are owed something more than that god-awful Donkey Kong cartoon that came out back in the day. Though I will admit, it's a guilty pleasure of mine. But even I can admit that's bad. Even my son loves it, for crying out loud. And very slight spoiler, they do tease a sequel in the post-credit scene. So it is in the realm of possibility for the future. One can hope. But all that being said, what did I think of the Super Mario Bros. Movie? I'm trying so hard not to call it Super Mario Bros. The movie. I enjoyed it quite a bit, especially as a lifelong gamer and Mario fan. Sure, the movie's generic, typical family fun time with a standard plot and a happy ending with cheesy humor and plenty of fan service. Which of course it does, this is a movie based on a franchise that's been around for nearly 40 years. Let that sink in. But that's not exactly a bad thing. They played it safe, and it paid off. And that is why I am giving the Super Mario Bros. Movie a solid Gallant rating of 7 out of 10.
Ha! Yes! You just got Luigi.
Is it anything spectacular? Not exactly, but it is a very enjoyable and very fun time for everyone, Mario fan or not. But if you don't at least know who Mario is, I'm just gonna say it, you're living under a rock. That being said though, I did really enjoy it. The nods and musical cues had me laughing every time, and hell, I even teared up a bit, because the kid in me will not die. Anyway, I personally would like to see more Nintendo movie outings in the future, especially with the success of this film. The aforementioned Donkey Kong film, for example, or Luigi's Mansion movie, which they do kinda hint at in the movie. Or hell, maybe a Zelda movie that leads up to the inevitable Super Smash Bros. Movie. The Smash Cinematic Universe, if you will, or SCU. Anyway, folks, that's about all I have to say for this one. So in the meantime, I am Gallant Havoc. Wreak some havoc, and I'll see you in the next one.